Hello everyone, FunshineX here, back on the TerraFirmaCraft server, and I'm all alone tonight. Yeah, nobody else on, just me. But, I have some copper pickaxes. I used almost two pickaxes to make this long tunnel. Basically, I've been trying to strip mine, and I've been testing, looking for anything down here at level 60, hoping for something good. I'm inside some diorite rock, which should have some gold, and it should have some iron and silver and copper. Or no, maybe no iron. Copper, silver, and gold. Looking for that, and bismuth. Um, and it actually changed. There's two different types of rocks down at this level that I've been going through. So I got to here, and I noticed we had a small trace of garnierite, which, according to their wiki, gives you nickel ingots. So we need nickel ingots, and I wanted to go over how to use the Prospector's pick. So I figured this would be a good place. So the first thing I did was basically, once you find it, you keep going basically until you can't find any more. And if you look, there's a small sample here, and it actually gets bigger here. So I should have kept going. I don't know, and notice the false positives. A lot of times you get nothing of interest, even though the one next to it is small or large. So here's what you do when you find it. Basically, I know there's nothing this way, right? Because I would have found it as I went along. So it's somewhere in this direction. And, when I found this small source, I know there's at least 2 or 3 blocks within 12 blocks this way, this way, this way, this way, or this way, right? So basically, I mined 12 that way and 12 that way, and you keep going, and basically somewhere in the middle, do a few tests. That's a small sample, so keep going. Put a torch up here, and do another test at the end, and you'll see we lost the trace. So we know it's not this way, but we know it's also now within 12 blocks of where we found this small sample. So we've kind of narrowed it down now to, a lot smaller area. And, veins are big, so it could be, running through the whole cave. So I also went this way, went 6 blocks and looked, got a small sample, went 12 blocks and looked, got nothing. Make sure you test 3 or 4 blocks to make sure. So now I know. Well, I've got a small sample here, nothing there, so it's not that way. Small sample here, nothing there, so it's pretty much in the middle. So where can it go? Can either be forward or up or down. So I checked upward first. And I went up and just went up 6 blocks and checked here again. And it stayed small. So I still know, it should have got bigger if I got closer to it. I don't know. Potentially. But I also went down here. And I went down again because if you test here, I think it's another medium sample. So I'm like, ooh, I must be getting closer. So we got small up top, 6 blocks down. We got medium, so maybe it's still further down. So I tested here, and basically the trace went cold. Nothing here. So I know it's not up, I know it's not left or right, I know it's not down, so it must be forward. So I keep going here, and we get large, very large, very large. So how do we find it? Even when we get to very large, we know there's a lot of blocks really close to us. How are we still going to find it? Well, it's not the easiest. I mean, we might get lucky. We might run right into it. That would be best case scenario, right? But basically what I'm going to do is, my first very large sighting was, let's see, right here. So I'm going to keep going until very large turns into just large. Because then I know I've gone beyond the node, or the vein. Or in TerraFirmaCraft spawns as huge, gigantic veins. So it's very difficult to find, but once you do find one, you're going to find a lot of it. So let me add some things here. Just to keep it lit up here. And I usually test every 6 blocks. We're still in the very large sample, so this could be quite a big sample of garnierite. And I'm not sure if nickel is beyond copper or not. I believe it is. The next thing that we're going for after copper is some alloy, either brass or bronze. And just like other familiar mods that we have played before that have brass or bronze, you mix tin and copper, or I believe zinc and copper, to get bronze or brass respectively. So that'll give us the next anvil that we need. I kind of go by anvils. That's kind of our progression. So we did the stone, we did the copper. Next is the bronze anvil. And then beyond that, we'll see. I think we're going to steel maybe. I'm not quite sure. Alright, let's do another test. Our pickaxe is about to break. Okay, look, we're down to medium. So we know the node is somewhere in between that torch there and let's see, where does it go from very large to large? Right here. Okay, so this is negative 450. This is negative 430. So there's 20 blocks, so I go in the middle, negative 440, and dig this way. Because now I know if I'm in the middle of these two, there's going to be ore either this way, up or down. You know, I've got a center mark at least on one plane now. I know it's somewhere on this Y and Z plane, or Y and X plane. Oh no, copper. That's one thing about it. You mine to get a pick, and then you use that pick to get another pick. Yeah, and that's what's nice, that once you do find a sample of ore, it's quite large. It'll allow you to make, you know, I've used up now 2 picks. I should be able to make 4 or 5 picks, maybe more, from the sample that I get. Alright, are we getting higher or lower? Very large. So we look like we're going in the right way, actually. And it's funny, you'd think you're like, I want a very large, because that means I'm getting close, but really that doesn't help you. Going from very large back down is what helps you, because you know it's behind you. If it stays very large, then it could still be in front of you, and it might just be up or down, left or right, and you just follow it forever. So you really want it to go from very large down to large, and then you know you've hit the edge somewhere behind you, and you've eliminated where it can't be, right? I'm not good at counting, so I have to keep doing that every time. Come on. Alright, let's test again here. Medium, okay. Large, nothing. Large, large. Oh, we went way too far. Very large. Okay, right here. Okay, and now we go the other way. We know it's now somewhere in... Basically, I think I'm right in the middle of it, actually. Or maybe it would be right about here, either up above or below us. But to be sure, we should go this way and wait till this one turns to large. And it can get boring, so you just put on music, you watch some YouTube videos, you do whatever. I'm not going to show much more of this mining, I can tell you that much. I might film when I find ores, or when I'm smelting, but this is just very repetitive. Just click one block, the next. I'm hoping the higher tier picks go faster, because copper is the same speed, it seems, just durability has increased. Okay. Alright, we have still at very large. Large, perfect. Okay, so this is at 612. Over here is at 587, so that's 25 blocks, so let's go to 5, actually 600 on the dot. This should be our middle point, so we're actually very close. It's either above us or below us. So, let's go down. And, you know, cave-ins are not a worry as long as you keep your tunnels small. I've got, you know, a few logs on me and beams just in case, especially once you get to the actual ore. Then you're going to need some beams because you're going to be opening up a large cavern, and cave-ins are a lot more possible. But, you know, if we counted right, we should be in the ore very soon. So I'm going to go down just like 4 or 5 blocks. Just kind of make a spiral staircase here. Oops, that should have been that one. And if we check it again and it says a large sample, then we know it was actually up. Oh, traces. So it is not down. It is definitely up from where we are. So let's do up on this side. If you just try and guess and say, you know, maybe it's down this way, no, maybe it's down this way, you're going to be really frustrated. I promise it's so much easier just to say, let's go in a straight line, and as soon as it goes from very large sample to large sample, turn around and go the other way. and then find the middle point. Alright, what are we at now? Nothing, nothing, very large. Alright, we're going the right way. And then usually what I do once I've found the ore deposit is I just block off all the other little tunnels that I made, either with some dirt or just some cobble, whatever. Just so I know not to go down there again. Still very large. Oops, don't pick the wrong tool. But yeah, be prepared to go through 1 or 2 picks and maybe even a whole prospector's pick in the process. So, oh, and we found it. There it is. This will be our garnieret. Cool. Got some nickel. So let's oh, well, we know it's somewhere around here. Let's just open some small pathways. Looks like it's back this way. So that'll bring me to my next topic is how the support beams work. And I think I've figured it out. We'll see. Oh, it better be bigger than this. Still very large. Oh, could be under us still, yeah. Alright, so here's what you do. The first thing is to find a good, you know, clean point, something that's not in your way. So I can turn this way, and it looks like it's actually under us quite a bit. But you want to start your support pillar at the base, because they have gravity, so if you break them, they all fall down, and your whole cave is potentially be destroyed. So I'm trying to find the bottom of this. Nope, it's even lower. And right now we are in risk of cave-in because we've got such a tall gap. Alright, let's find where this ends. Okay, let's do right here. Here's a nice pillar of cobble, so I don't really care. It's out of my main pathway. So I'm going to just dig up. I'm going to put some support beams. These beams on their own don't do anything. So that's not going to... I mean, well, it'll prevent this block from caving in, but none of the other blocks will be prevented. Oops. And they have a lot bigger hitbox than you think they would. So I'm going to pillar up maybe 4 so it's out of the way. And then I'm going to grab... Oh, I should show how to craft them. Take your axe. If you put your logs across, you make a horizontal beam. If you put them up, you make a vertical beam. Okay, so let's get some vertical beams going. The vertical beams you have to attach to a horizontal beam. If you put them here, watch, they just pop off. But if I attach them to a beam, they're good. Now this one will hold up anything within 4 blocks of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to hold up, everything above it there. 1 here, all the way over there. So just having, 1 block does a great amount of good, because you almost get like a 9 block radius where you're safe to just stand and mine this stuff. So that's usually what I start with, just to make myself have a nice, area where I'm not worried about cave-ins at all. I can start mining this. It doesn't help anything below it. So this block here, if I opened a lot underneath it, could still cave in. And, obviously, if that block was 4 higher, it could cave down and land on this thing, but then it wouldn't, would not fall anymore. And basically, cave in, all the blocks around will just turn to cobble, and then they'd have gravity, because cobble has gravity, whereas stone does not. But, yeah, I'm relatively safe here. Looks like I got a jewel. Yeah, a barrel jewel. And you can see this this vein is pretty big. We'll have a lot of nickel out of it. And if your cave starts getting bigger, then you can just attach to other horizontal beams. That works fine. They can go out, I believe, 4 blocks away from the support beam. So that would be 3. We could add 1 more, and then the next one wouldn't be able to attach. It looks like that's as far as the vein goes. And again, this was just resulted from strip mining, and every 6 or so blocks I checked a couple blocks around my main strip just to see if it could locate anything. And yeah, you can also do the method of walking around your world and just picking up the little pebbles. And if you happen across something that's not a pebble, you get like a small garniere or small copper, or small tin, whatever, bismuth, then just mark it. And wherever you get a high concentration of that, there's some of that ore somewhere near the surface. It might be as far down as 30 blocks or so, but it's not going to be forever away. It should be within... Oh, I can't break that one. See, I did something silly. I put it on top of that. That was silly. That's alright. I can either move my pillar somewhere else or just not worry about that block. But your inventory does fill very quickly. Just turn your things into cobble. Yeah, I assume you don't need them anymore, right? It's not like we have tons of uses. But I've got gabbro down here as well. And gabbro I want because it has a chance to give me silver. Or have a silver vein in there. Yeah, it's not a silver vein, it's something else it's like a silver alloy. It has like multiple things in it. Alright. That's another thing, you will go through a lot of food and water while you're under here. You just have to watch your water bar because you can't really bring it with you. I mean, you can take a barrel and put it in a little pit like this and drink from it, but you're not going to make an infinite spring in this mod. That's another thing we have is the seasons of this game. When it turns winter, the ocean starts to freeze, especially as far south or north as we are. negative 13,000. And it froze all of the water by our farms. And when that ice melted, it didn't start flowing the same way. And so we've got a couple of our farm blocks now that are not flowing anymore. All right, well, it looks like I've cleared that out. So ground total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6.5 stacks of this. And each one smelted will give me some nickel. So 6 times 8, 48, 53 nickel. And I can't remember how much it is per bar. I think it's like 2 of these per bar, so we'll probably end up with about 20 bars out of this, which is pretty good. Now I can't remember where I came from. Yeah, this is home, right? Nope. Here we go. Here's the main line. Yeah. Okay, so let's take some dirt and just block that way. And that way. Just say, don't need to go down those directions anymore. Okay, and then I would just keep going down my thing here. And we can see if we got it all. We should, oh, small sample. So maybe we missed 1 or 2. But, you know, it's not really worth it at that point. I've got most of the vein. There might be 1 or 2 more down there. There's, of course, the one that I didn't get because it was under my support pillar, because I picked the worst place to put it. I'm going to run back home. You can see it's about 200 blocks away, and I'll be right back. Oh, actually, I'm going to show you my long staircase. This is how I got down to level 60. Made some stairs, and I actually ran right into this node without even having to prospect. It's I can't even remember what it was. I think it's bismuth. Where it is? Bismuth, yeah, bismuthinite. But it had a pretty good stack here. You can see I used some supports. Same kind of thing. Just put up a pillar, put 1, and then as you grow, just add more to it. And then, you know, if you keep them small like this, you don't need them. But yeah, this was a really big node. I think I found 8 or 9 stacks of it. And there's still more. I ran out of inventory. So because it's all along the road, I remember if I come down, oh yeah, there's always bismuth right here. It's easy to find. But I've filled a whole double chest almost with it, so I'm not going to worry about it. And you can see this is where we get into the limestone rock. So the rock definitely changes as you go down. And here's my mine entrance. This is cool. If you take the chisel and you do the not the stairs mode, but this mode is like the planing mode or slab mode. It takes off 1/8 of the block. So you know, I used this and just took off the top layer, and it almost makes it, you know, gives it more of a 3-dimensional look, which is pretty cool. Little, I don't know, sand trap almost. It's a deterrent to go down into my mine. And I put up some beams, support beams. I might put some storage in here of my ores. I'm not sure. I might move the anvil and the a couple, maybe build 1 or 2 more smelters, bloomeries down here, something like that. And then I've smooth stoned all of this, and then put in some basalt in the cave entrance. So that's my cave. Let's see what's different in the house. This is our tree farm. They're nice, more spread out. I crafted one of these, which is a scythe. These are pretty cool. They break leaves really quick, and in a 3x3 area. So very similar to Red Power's scythe. I think he calls it a scythe or Red Power. The only thing is, instead of a 4% chance of getting a sapling, it comes down to 3. But because you're breaking so many more blocks, you know, you get a pretty good chance of getting a sapling. And even, you know, I can't reach all those, but if I could reach this one, then it will. Which is pretty cool. So that also allows me to reach higher. It does use up very quickly, though. This is only tin, so, you know, it doesn't have a ton of durability, but it uses it pretty quick. We've got a pretty good wood supply going on, and it looks like Sky started doing animal breeding. So we've got cows, we've got sheep. What's he doing? Dancing sheep. And we've got chickens. And remember, there's some kind of bug where these animals don't move. It does make them easier to push them into a pen. But he also has like some wheat or whatever they require, and he's been dragging them from all over the map into these pens, which is pretty cool. Let's see if any of them are pregnant. One thing we did see is that one male can impregnate multiple females, just like in the real world. That's what farmers do. They have their their steer, and they go out and find all the female cows and inseminate them, right? Is that allowed on YouTube? I don't know. But so you really don't need a ton of males, but you're probably going to end up with them just by random breeding, the children. But if you want to increase your numbers of animals quickly, you're going to want to get a lot of females. Because once they're pregnant, they're going to be pregnant for a whole season almost, nearly a year. And then after they are pregnant, they have another cooldown where they can't get pregnant again. So one female, you're really almost looking at a year and a half of game time, obviously, before they will be able to mate again. Looks like he hasn't planted recently because he's been offline, but here's what I'm talking about. This water used to flow all the way to here, but after this block turned into ice in the wintertime, it no longer flows, which is a bummer. So like this one here is too far away now. A lot of these crops aren't getting watered. I think that's why those are not growing. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Give me the torch back. And then the same thing over here with our chickens. He had this water here flowing into here, and it basically pushed all the chickens up against this wall, so it was really easy to just walk along this and get all the eggs. But yeah, the ice froze and it's broken them all. And now you can see they're being forced, wherever the water's flowing. It's possible I could fix that. Let me try and fix it by just doing this. Oh, yeah, it looks like it just needed a block update. I hope I didn't create an infinite spring. Oh, I did. Oh, man, he's not going to like that. Whoops. It's no longer flowing. How did I create an infinite spring? You're not supposed to be able to create that. Oh. Oh well. I guess that's better than no water. And look, they've all escaped. The house is done. Did you guys see the house? It's all done, look. Whole roof's on it and everything. Yay! So that's pretty cool. Why is there an armor chest piece here? Well, that's because I made a tin chest piece. I'm going to show that next episode, how to craft armor. It takes a lot of ingots. I think it's 8 ingots per item, because you have to turn it into double ingots, and then you have to turn it into plating, and it's 2 plates for armor. So, let's see. What have we got in here? Anything? Oh, why is that a meal? Go away. Got a tin ingot. Oh, this is one thing cool. If you keep your, even though this is off, if you store your ingots in here, they keep their temperature. You might even be able to store them in here as well. So that might be a way to store ingots at the right temperature. Just, heat them all up and then have like a bunch of forges all over the place as storage, and then they're always at the right temperature. But here's our food. I made the plans for swords, shovels, the scythe as you saw, axe, chisels. Yeah, pretty much. I think I have every plan in the game now. Here's all the helmets, chest plates, pants and boots, and a bucket. Got a copper bar sitting ready for my next pickaxe, ready to go. And then you can see here's all the bismuthite that I got from that mine. So that's, what, 9, 8, 10, 17 stacks maybe? So that one was a lot better than this Garnierite deposit. And look at all the copper I have. That was 20-something stacks from one vein. That was a big one. That one's copper 5, which is 400 blocks away. But it's pretty nice. I took a trip down to that thing, which is 2,000 blocks away. This guy made a boat, and I used that to get down there. I hope I brought his boat back. I don't think I did. Whoops. I'm about to craft him a new one. But yeah, there's the basalt that I got for the cave entrance, and there's kind of this red rock that's down there. I got some of that, and I brought back these trees, which are white somethings. I don't remember. Let's see if we get a sapling really quick. White maples, maybe? I don't know. You'd think there'd be like honey on them if they're maples. Yeah, that's one thing about this site, is you get a ton of sticks. There we go. Sapling. White cedar. That's what it is. And it's nice. It's a nice, 5 block, usually about 5 or 6 blocks. Not a ton of leaves, but good enough to get you a sapling and easily reachable. And it looks good because it's kind of a white wood. It's the lightest wood, I believe. Let's go in the house and look what else we've picked up. So wood. Let me drop off the support beams here. Keep those kind of organized. And the stone. So I've got some basalt, and here's chert. That was the red stuff. It's kind of more brown. I don't think I've found the true red rock yet. It might be further away. But I've got the basalt, which I think is the darkest, and the dolomite shale. I didn't give any rocks, but I turned it on to cobblestone. So there's a good spectrum, all the way from black to gray to brown to white to green, yeah, to red. So I brought home a couple, smooth stones of each kind, and a bunch of rocks, just so I had them in case I wanted to build with them. And there's some sand as well, some almost really dark black sand, and brown, and kind of more dull, ugly brown sand. And dirt the same way, some really dark sand, brown dirt, ugly dirt. But that's cool. I mean, it gives you some different, in the look. Otherwise, everybody's house would look the same. I mean, I haven't even gone into chiseling yet, like the detailed mode here, where you can like make any type of block. It basically takes a block of stone and turns it into 64 or even 8 by 8 by 8. So, yeah, 64, I think. Maybe even more, 128 blocks that you can just, micro blocks that you can take off one at a time to make cool things. Make a statue of somebody here. And I think that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Again, I explained how to use that Prospector's pick. If you have more tips on how to use it, I'm open. You don't need to flame or anything, but if you say, this is a little bit better way to use it, I'm open to tips as always. And my subscribers are always good at doing that, so I appreciate you guys doing that. And hopefully you learned something. If not, keep watching, and hopefully you will soon. This has been FunshineX for TerraFirmaCraft. Adios. Goodbye.